Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. It's been sort of sad sack over here lately with all the bad news, from bad bills to bad Supreme Court takes to the ATF fabricating evidence in Navy Tate's trial. But today I have a story with a happy ending, although it is a 10 months after the fact happy ending that comes with a lost house and business, but still a happy ending. This is the story of barbershop owner and veteran Maurice Byrd, who shot a man in self-defense, was charged with murder, and spent 10 months in jail before finally being cleared of any wrongdoing. But before I get into it, this video is brought to you by Blackout Coffee Company. Blackout Coffee is my go-to Second Amendment friendly coffee roaster that has all kinds of great smooth flavors that get me going every morning and sometimes again in the afternoon. I'm a toddler mom, just being real. They also have dedicated partner roasts that donate directly to some of your favorite gun rights groups like the Second Amendment Foundation, FPC, and GOA, so you can know that your money is not only going to a good product, but a good cause. So to get your morning grind and a cup of coffee, tea, or hot chocolate that you can be proud of, go to blackoutcoffee.com/LibertyDoll, and if it is your first time, you can use code LibertyDoll for a one-time 20% discount. On June 8, 2024, police were called to the scene of a shooting in Hatboro, Pennsylvania. They arrived to Razor Reese's salon and spa to find 37-year-old Steven Strasberg suffering from 2 gunshot wounds. 42-year-old Byrd, who is an Afghanistan and Iraq veteran, had called police, was ultimately arrested and charged with first-degree murder, third-degree murder, and possessing an instrument of crime. He faced life in prison. And, by the way, the 9mm handgun he used was legally owned. Strasberg lived above Byrd's business and had a contentious relationship with him. In fact, police had been called to the business several times over the previous 2 years for verbal altercations between the two of them. According to Strasberg's cousin, many of these arguments were over a parking spot outside the business. Either way, around 5:45 p.m. on the day of the shooting, Byrd called the police to report that Strasberg was drunk, verbally assaulting him, and using racist slurs. On the call, Byrd also said that Strasberg had grabbed his shirt and was trying to punch him. You can hear it on the 911 call, even Strasberg asking if Byrd was going to shoot him and calling him the N-word. And there is, indeed, surveillance video of Strasberg chasing Byrd and throwing punches at him. Now, Byrd was older, smaller, is on military disability, and has a bum leg from combat injuries. He warned Strasberg, who did not back off. Thinking he had no other choice, he pulled out his gun and fired 7 shots, hitting Strasberg twice. The footage shows him shooting Strasberg, then putting down his gun and backing up to wait for the police. Now, police showed up and arrested Byrd, and due to the charges, he was not offered bail. Now, Pennsylvania does have stand your ground laws, but they require you to try and retreat from an unarmed person if you're in public. Strasberg was unarmed, and they were technically in public. During the trial, prosecution argued that the defense was trying to paint Strasberg as a maniac drunk, but it turns out that he did have 3 previous DUI convictions, including a vehicular homicide charge that he went to prison for. According to neighbors, he had a long history of using racial slurs, especially towards Byrd. Byrd, meanwhile, had no prior record, and also was an adjunct college professor. And apparently, because of his leg, he has trouble running and wasn't able to get away from Strasberg, at least not fast enough, as the guy did land at least one of his punches. The footage also shows the pair struggling over the gun. The prosecution also argued that Byrd's warning to Strasberg was instead a verbal threat and amounted to premeditated murder. They claimed that Byrd had attempted to lure Strasberg into the shop for the altercation. The same cousin that I mentioned earlier claimed that Strasberg was afraid of Byrd because Byrd had left angry notes on his door. I don't know why he would then confront him and threaten to punch him and rant and rave in front of the shop, but okay. And the police had previously advised them to stay away from each other. Either way, if you have a disability that prevents you from retreating, someone is threatening you and then grabs you and punches you, I feel like that is a good argument for self-defense. And regarding Pennsylvania's law, how are you supposed to try and retreat if you can't physically retreat? But it turns out that the jury saw it the same way, and after nearly 10 months in jail, losing his business and home while in prison, and a 4-day trial, he was cleared of all charges. Bird says that he now plans to go to law school to help other people who may get caught up in similar circumstances, having learned firsthand that many people don't understand the legal system, the legal process, or even sometimes the charges against them. Personally, I don't think that he should have been in jail to begin with, whether awaiting trial or not. I don't think that the charges should have gotten to that point at all. I don't think he should have been charged in the first place, but I am not a prosecutor in Pennsylvania. But if nothing else, this case does prove the importance of the Second Amendment and self-defense. All right, folks, that is it for this video. Please like, share, and subscribe. If you are new here, drop a comment down below and ring that notification bell. There are still lots of people that tell me that they only see one of my videos a week, maybe every couple of weeks. I post 3, 4, sometimes even 5 times a week. So they are there, my friends. And as always, thanks for tuning in. Stay safe out there, and happy shooting.